you can be sure that in the finals there'll be one or two Koreans.
Okay, yeah, wow, wow.
And they're really, truly marvelous, wonderfully.
Welcome to Nice to Matthew. I'm your host, Matthew, and before we get started, I just want to say a very warm thank you both to my colleague Eugen, who stepped in for me for our last show. She did a wonderful job. Okay, so I'm here with my guest who really needs no introduction. I will just say that he's been concertizing since I think 5 years old. Won several very large international competitions soon after, started recording at a very young age, and has been wowing the world with his violin sound ever since. Maxim Vengerov, welcome. Thank you for being here, and it's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I love this name.
It's cute, right?
This is great. This is great.
I'm glad you.
안녕하세요. My name is Maxim Vengerov, and I'm a violinist and conductor and a teacher.
Okay, so I was very sad actually originally when I saw what the program was, because I, as a percussionist, don't get to join you on stage. But that's okay. I will be there in the audience either for the dress rehearsal or the concert if I can get a ticket. But just getting started, can you tell us a little bit about the program that we're going to hear on Wednesday? These two pieces, Mozart's Violin Concerto No. 5 and Mendelssohn Violin Concerto in E minor.
In the moment, but since you mentioned that you play the percussion, so maybe next time we can do like Shostakovich. Well,
yes,
that'll be
please.
Smashing.
So fun. I would love it.
Great.
We come back soon and
Yes.
let's do it. Absolutely.
Mozart and Mendelssohn, one could say two conventional pieces.
Okay.
Yet they're so fine, and every time a new discovery to me, very much. And I haven't played Mendelssohn Violin Concerto here in this country. So Mendelssohn Violin Concerto is one of the greatest milestones for every musician, and everybody plays it.
Okay.
And everyone is different in this piece. And for me, as I said, I started playing this piece when I was 8. And the first time with orchestra was at the age of 9. But surprisingly, I haven't played it for 21 years.
Oh, okay.
Yes, recently picked it up again. I do that very often with pieces, so to stay fresh. Mozart Violin Concerto is one of his greatest pieces he wrote for violin. Sadly, Mozart didn't write any violin concertos when he was older, when he was still young, of course.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, that's right.
He died at the age of 37, so only. And since you mentioned that, I started concertizing at the age of 5, yes, I'm already 43 years on stage.
Oh,
Can
wow.
you believe, so
Amazing.
at the age of 5, I started.
And I was listening a little bit to the rehearsal today, and I can say that it's going to be a really wonderful night of music making. You sound amazing, and it's not a concert to be missed. It's going to be really, really nice to hear you play these two pieces.
I look forward to working with Maestro and KBS Orchestra. It's a lovely group of people, very enthusiastic. I believe it's my first time with KBS.
Oh, yes.
with
Okay,
them.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah,
Wow.
I played with Seoul Philharmonic on
sure,
several occasions, other orchestras, but this is the first time with KBS.
Nice. Well,
So-
welcome. We're all...
Of course, the Seoul audience, very emotional, and Korea violin is very much loved as an
Absolutely.
instrument.
Oh, yes. It's not so common to play two solo works in one night, so is there any extra challenge making these two pieces come to life, these very different pieces, or is it?
I think that's a great for me.
Oh,
because
okay.
first of all, I can be a little bit longer on stage.
Oh, sure. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I
sure.
can play for audiences. Secondly, for the second piece, you're totally warmed up.
Oh yeah, there you go. Oh yeah,
So-
that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Because it's, playing with orchestra is really like sprint runner.
Okay, okay.
You go,
Yeah.
20, 30 minutes and you finish,
And there's going to be many young, aspiring violinists or maybe other solo instruments as well in the audience. And so I was wondering if you could maybe give some advice, or what advice would you give to these young students who are coming and maybe want to follow in your footsteps and join the next generation of solo artists? What would you say to
It's
them?
astounding to see how Asia, not only speaking about Korea, but also around, China, has developed in the last three decades. Really fantastic, This is really inspiring. There are so many great Korean violinists now. If you go to any competitions, you can be sure that in the finals there'll be one or two Koreans.
Okay, yeah, wow, wow.
And they're really, truly marvelous, wonderfully, not only technically, but also they have some of the most dear and wonderful expressions when they play. I think the greatest advice maybe I could give is that, of course, we are moving into we are in the 21st century, and everyone is looking into new technologies, new ways of expression, and that is all very good, So, but this is technical expression. Technique has to always serve the musical purpose. Music will evolve with a composer writing new things.
Sure.
Say Mozart, Beethoven, or 20th century works, Prokofiev, Shostakovich. It's very important not to detach yourself from the source.
Okay.
Because basically, it's important to study traditions, to study the time. Also, somehow, when we play these works, how different they are, I try always to picture myself being in that time.
Oh, okay.
Not that I'm using Mozart to express myself. Everything is in the score, but the score means nothing. It's what you make of it. But I think in our world and time of globalization, you can watch on YouTube practically everything. If I would be a young person, for me, I would be really lost, to listen to, You can go and see the number of clicks and number of likes, and then according to that, you could say this is better and this is not as good because it doesn't have the many, but not necessarily that. I think you have to try and form your own taste by listening to many and comparing. And I think it's very important to be individual. I remember my first lesson I had with Daniel Barenboim when I played for him Sibelius Violin Concerto. And I thought that was quite good because, I loved the work and I thought I was very personal with that. And then he said to me that, yes, you play all right, you play all the notes and you play beautifully, but I don't see your Sibelius. And so I was shocked and I asked him, what do you mean, maestro? How can I play Sibelius? Maybe you can tell me. Because I'm not going to tell you. You take the score, you study it, and then you come tomorrow to the first rehearsal, and I want to hear your Sibelius. I want you to discover that for the first time. And that taught me a great lesson, to take the work every time as a new one. Perform world premiere, but also as if I'm doing it for the last time. Because we never know what's tomorrow.
Sure, wow. That's beautiful. Wonderful advice. Really nice. I'm sure a lot of young artists can take inspiration from that. Okay, I think that's all the time we have. So in wrapping up, I just want to say thank you for coming to play with our orchestra and for taking the time to sit down with me. KBSSO YouTube channel 구독해 주세요.
Today you need to subscribe. That's the remedy of life.
That's right. That's right. Subscribe. See you at the concert on Wednesday.
감사합니다.
감사합니다.